What's going on, everybody? I'm James Young with jamesyoungphotography.com, and this is Teach Me How to Lightroom. Today, we're getting epic with the black and white editing. Let's say you got a sweet shot, you want to post it on the gram, you want to post it on social, but processing it in black and white would just take it to the next level. This is for you. Check this out. This is where we started. This is straight out of camera. Bam. This is where we're going. We're getting super moody with the black and white. So let's just click on reset and we'll get going. First thing I'm going to do, let's just crop this in a little bit, cut me some slack. This was just a self-portrait I did with the 6D Mark II. Phenomenal camera, by the way. But it was a self-portrait, so I didn't line up my composition 100% perfectly in camera. I didn't want to get out of my car. Since we're doing black and white, let's just start off by clicking black and white. And if you're feeling perky, you can press V to switch back and forth between color and black and white. Let's start things off with the tone curve. I'm going to click to add a node right in the middle. I'm going to click to add a node towards the highlights and click to add a node in my shadows. Up in the highlight region, I'm going to raise that up a little bit, and in the shadows, I'm going to bring that down a little bit as well. Now let's scroll up some in our basic module. I'm leaving the temperature where we're at. I'm okay with what it did in camera. And let's start off with contrast, and let's add about 25 contrast or so. We're going to bring our highlights down somewhere around -20. For our shadows, we're going to want to bring these up around 50 or so. This is going to bring out some details. In our whites, we're going to raise these up quite a bit too. Let's go around like 45 or so. We're starting to get a little overexposed. We'll get back to that in a second, but first let's bring our blacks down real far. This is black and white, so we can get real contrasty. We're around -70 or so. Great. Now, it's a little overexposed, so let's compensate that down a little bit. Let's do about -60 on the exposure. Now, here's where a lot of magic takes place within black and white editing. And let's scroll down to our HSL, but now it's been changed to B&W, which is also known as black and white. Now, when you're doing black and white portraits, something you want to look at is the orange slider, because a lot of the skin data registers as orange. And I can demonstrate that by sliding this all the way down to the left. You can see that looks ridiculous, and we'll undo that by pressing Command Z. Now, what I typically start with orange is just by double clicking and zeroing it out, and you can see, bam, it just made my face brighten up quite a bit, which is really cool because it might look a little dark, but as we bring that back to 0, it looks a lot better. And of course, we can adjust that appropriately as well. I'm not white, so this isn't really a good look. Let's keep it at 0 for now. I like where that landed. The same thing with the yellow. I want to bring the yellows up just a little bit, somewhere around, let's say -13. I like that. These are all subtle changes. With our greens, we're going to bring our greens up just a tad. Now our blues and purples, we're actually going to want to bring these down a little bit. And you can see the areas around me darkening up some. There we go, perfect. Now, another thing I want to do to introduce a little bit more contrast is to scroll all the way down to the conveniently placed dehaze slider and dehaze this just a little bit, like maybe +15, landed at 16. I like where that landed. And then let's scroll up. Let's finish off this image. Let's polish it up a little bit. I'm going to raise the blacks here on the tone curve all the way to the left and give it somewhat of a matte finish. And let's bring that down just a tad right about there. You can see how powerful the tone curve is. Let's turn that off. Let's turn that back on. Man, this is sweet. I really like the way that this is coming out. You check here. I really like it. I think that this is just about ready for IG. I'm going to make a couple more changes here. In the top right-hand corner, also the bottom right-hand corner, we're coming in a little bright on our exposure. So we'll bring it down like maybe half a stop or so. Graduated filter, bring that down. Let's also hit the highlights down some, right about there. Then we'll bring another one up from the bottom right. There we go. And then just for kicks, even from the top left, we'll bring one down there. And you can see this really rounds out the image. It brings a lot of attention to the subject. And you can see, bam, sweet. So let me just turn that off. Let's go before. Let's go after. Boom. This is ready for IG. This is ready to get a few likes. And I'm super hyped. But check it out. The raw file is in the description below. So if you wanted to take this edit in a completely different way, I would love to see what you came up with. Tag me on social media. And if you learned something, it would be awesome if you left a like on this video. And I'm James Young with JamesYoungPhotography.com. And this is Teach Me How to Lightroom.